And I pray if you take it in line, I pray that your credit get all messed up.
Imprecatory. Lord, imprecatory.
Don't put that on tape. That was Geraldine coming out of me. But anyway, I pray this bless you. God will just bless you. Everything you need. Hallelujah.
Reverse the curse.
Hallelujah.
I mean, when I just,
No, I'm good. I just don't like the mic, but I'm good.
we want to hear you.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Although I have to say, one of the things that I want to talk about today is how your speech is fluid. And when I was listening to the previous speaker, I was thinking, oh, I could change that. Oh, I should add this. Oh, I should have added that. Is that better?
You're recording, so they really.
Oh, see, I need me a Britney Spears mic. Y'all know when Britney Spears performs, she don't have a mic in her hand. She is connected to her. So, you know.
I have a lav. You want one? You want a mic that goes over your head? We have that.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Because that's your hair and it's not a great photo op.
Oh, this is about me.
But what about this? Is this a great photo op? Right here?
So be comfortable if you want to look at your number.
You want the live?
Yes. Only because I forget. I don't like to hold this mic. I teach for a living, and so I don't talk with a mic.
Right.
And I'll put this mic down because I forget. And I talk with my hands, and so.
Okay, so we're gonna have this mic class while they transition the mics. We're gonna have this mic class right quick. No, seriously, we're gonna transition and let it get comfortable. This is how you hold the mic, okay? Everybody got this? Don't hold the mic like this.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I don't have a class.
Yeah, but this seriously, I'm just stopping.
So if I'm holding the mic like this, but I really want to tell you something, then what's going on?
Then you have to be conscious of the microphones.
See, that's why I need this.
You see what I'm saying? Everybody get this? I'm on Facebook, don't put me, I'm on live? I'm on live, baby? Okay, that's good, okay. So this is, yeah, because I'm teaching little nuggets and I want y'all to get it, right? So I appreciate that. So listen, when you're holding the mic, hold the mic like this. Because when you hold the mic like this, I can hear you, right? If you hold the mic like this, even though you have a mic, it's not gonna pick up. Are y'all paying attention? Yeah, so she's hooking up with another kind of mic, right? But this is good because it's Shiro, we're empowering each other, right? But I see so many people, especially people been in church a long time, they do this rapper thing. You are not the MC. Y'all got that? Don't hold your mic like this. Do you hear what I'm saying? Because she have a good sound system, but most sound system is gonna give you feedback. And it's gonna sound horrible. Everybody got that? You sound muffled. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
So just kind of do that. Keep it, what you say?
And even if you are the MC, don't hold the mic like that. Please.
Test that.
Even if you are the rapper, don't do it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh.
Wait a second, let's wait.
Look at Whippers right
Is she-
now.
She said, wait a minute. Keep going. They're testing you. They
Can
hear
you guys
go.
hear me
Keep going.
now?
Keep going.
I like this mic.
It's your mic, girl.
I need this. My sister's right there, y'all. I need one of these for Christmas.
Sister, I think she got a little Janet Jackson spirit going on.
That's what I told her. She can
In control.
I like this.
do all of
Yes.
And you look good.
Thank you, girl. Hey.
I wear it every Sunday.
Yes, thank you. I like it. This works. Because then I can use my hands, because that's part of what I want to talk to you guys about. So like I said, I want to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to move from inspiration to information. So today, what I want to talk to you about is how to talk to anybody at any time about anything.
Good.
Now I'm gonna throw this little piece in here, this little microphone right here. If you walk around with this, you're gonna feel like a superstar all the time. So you're probably gonna get a little bit more confidence. I really need to get me one of these. So, speaking anywhere at any time to anybody requires three things, and that's what we're gonna spend our time today talking about. You wanna be others-oriented, other-centered versus self-centered. Self-centered is what I just did. I took this mic because this makes me more comfortable. Other-centered is when I'm looking out into my audience and I'm thinking, let me purvey and see who's here so I know how to address them. Because if I'm looking at teenagers, or if I'm looking at children, or a room filled with men, I want to address them differently than I plan to address you all today. So part of preparing is knowing who you're preparing for. And see, this is my problem with the mic, because then you wouldn't be able to hear me, because the mic would be over here. And I'm a lefty, so that kind of throws everything off anyway. So you want to ask, what does my audience need? And really, why do they need it? What quality, what is it going to bring to them? So what are you going to gain by having listened to me today? That's very important. And if I don't have an answer to that, then I need to be sitting down and not standing up. And also, you have to prepare. Preparation is key. When you're looking at, like Pastor Tara told me she wanted me to talk for 40 minutes. I can't take 40 minutes to prepare for a 40-minute presentation because it's not long enough. So for every 20 or so minutes you have, that's about 2 hours worth of prep work. If you already have some of your background stuff already in order. Oh, look. Hey, on the ball. Okay, so let's think for a second. If I ask you, if a person spends just 1 minute of time with you, what's the takeaway? What quality do you think you possess that's going to make that person remember you? That's a real question. That requires real answers from the audience. 1 minute, we bump into each other in the street, we bump into each other in the elevator, we shake hands at church. What is it about you that you think that person is going to remember?
My smile.
Your smile, okay. What else?
It's always my hair.
Your hair? Because we got that fly in my hair.
It's usually my eyes or being friendly.
Being
Friendly.
friendly. Oh my God, I thought you said pregnant. I was like, what?
Friendly.
You're friendly, okay. What else?
Nope. Oh, your menopause is going in.
Ah, her hugs and encouragement. That means although we're sitting in church, she's not a church hugger. Y'all know those church huggers, right? Those tap you on the back people. So she said people remembers her hug. So that's something about her. That's something that she thinks positively about herself. I want you guys to keep that in mind because today is interactive, which means you're gonna have to do a little thinking on top of listening. That's what you like, that's what I like. So going back to being other-centered is worrying more about your audience than yourself, even though you know I did the mic thing, but that's for the good of us all. Never let anybody see you sweat. I teach school, so I tell my students all the time, I teach English, we do poetry, they have to remember. But sometimes they mess up. And when you mess up, you do certain things, like you might stop. I forgot what I was gonna say next. Or you might pause or make a face or whatever. But what I tell them is, you're the only person who knows.
Right.
Just keep going. Never let your audience see that you messed up. Because if you're inspirational, if you're into what you're talking about, if you're really reaching them, in the end, it won't even matter that you missed that line. Because you will have connected with your audience. And the key, when you're here, is to connect with the people here. So then you never ever let anybody see you sweat. Keep that in mind. In the hood, we say, fake it till you make it, right? So what does that mean? Fake it till you make it means today I didn't feel like coming here. But do I look like I didn't feel like coming here? Do you want to present yourself like you rolled from under your bed this morning? Even if that's how you feel in your heart and soul, because we know we have bad days, right? Everybody has bad days. But you have to fake it until you make it. Now in church, my dad was a minister and he would say, don't fake it, faith it. So I changed that up a little bit to reach everybody. So it's the faith, right? I have faith that this is going to work out. I have faith that I'm going to say something that's going to have an impact on you. I have faith that I'm going to stand here and remember what I want to remember, see what I want to see, read what I want to read, and connect with you in a way that when you walk away, you feel a little bit more confident about your ability to stand here. How many of you all are afraid to speak publicly? Y'all know we in church. My sister back there, she raised her hand, and I know I pick on her all the time because I'm like, you have something to say, you have a story to tell. We want to hear your voice. Finding your voice is important, and this is my first year teaching high school. I typically taught middle school because I wanted to catch children before they got to high school to help them find their voice. Because finding your voice is critical. It is absolutely critical to your success in life. So my sister says, well, I don't want to be a public speaker. Well, it's not even about being a public speaker. It's just about being a speaker. It's just about speaking up for yourself. It's just about saying what I feel, what I want is valid, and I need you to listen. So how do we do that? One way is eye contact. You see, I keep looking at you because I want you to know that I'm talking to you, or I'm talking to you. But if I'm standing here and I'm doing this, who am I talking to? And are we connecting? No. We're not. Or if I smile, if I say, look at Miss Bell. Hi, how are you today? What am I doing? I'm connecting. But if I keep the same dry look on my face, and I keep the same tone in my voice, and I'm just like, y'all, I have some stuff I want to tell you. It's going to help you. You need to know it. Am I connecting? Right, I'm gonna fall asleep too. It's gonna be a problem, right? You wanna have your notes. I always have notes with me. I rarely read them, but I have them because I have this nightmare that I'm going to be standing right here and draw a complete blank, right? So I keep my notes with me all the time because one day it's gonna happen. I don't know when, but I'll be ready because my motto is, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And because I already said, I'm never going to let you see me sweat. If I do draw a blank, I'm going to just walk slowly to this podium. And I'm going to say, guys, what am I doing right now? And I'm going to push a question on you. But in reality, while you're thinking about that answer, what am I doing? I'm trying to say, girl, where are you? Where you belong. Don't let these people see that you're not prepared, right? Those are small tools. In this podium, I used to be a podium hider. And the strange thing is, if I'm being honest, it really didn't have anything to do with speaking. It's because I'm fake, right? And I like to hide behind the podium because when you guys video me and take pictures, I want you to see my hair and my lipstick, right? But you can't see the rest. And so I would hide behind this podium. But then I said, wait a minute. Because if I step from behind this podium and I walk into my audience, what am I doing? I'm engaging and I'm connecting. So I said to myself, lose weight or work it out. Right? And so I'm not about to lose weight, so I'm working it out.
Work it out. Work it out.
Plain and simple. Work it out. So that's where I am. You're making eye contact, we smile, I have my notes, I get from behind my podium, but I also make it interactive because I want you to know that this presentation was prepared with you in mind. It's not cookie cutter. It doesn't work every time I take the mic. It's for you guys. Pastor Tyra and I talked extensively about what this was and how I was going to present it in a way that didn't seem like a lesson in class, but for us to really interact. Now, I asked you a question earlier, and that question was, if we bump into each other, what's one thing about you that I will remember? So I'm going to ask you that question again, but I'm going to add a layer to it. It can't be anything about your physical self. What would I remember about you?
For me, it's my openness. Like I'm inviting.
Okay.
I think for me, I'm more inviting. When people see me, I just have that.
Approachable.
Yeah, I'm very approachable. And it's, like you say, it's not the physical aspect of my smile, but it's more that I'm in tune.
Okay. Who else? What is it about you? Nothing physical. Don't tell me how you look. Don't tell me about your smile, how you interact. I want to know inside.
The fact that I focus on you, that I'm present when I encounter you.
What is that called? That presence. Good listening skills. Good listening skills, which is a very key piece to being a good speaker. Because most people now, when you talk to them in a conversation, immediately they're thinking about, what am I gonna say? How can I respond? Oh, I know how to fix that. Oh, that's the same problem I had last week. But if all this stuff running through my brain, am I really engaged in what you're talking about? I am not. And that presence is key. Now, Sherelle spoke and she talked about her openness. Now, Sherelle is a friend of mine, and we became friends through tragedy. We used to work together. We knew each other casually through work. But when my sister died, Sherelle is a counselor. When my sister died, even before she died, about a week or so before she died, she came to our house every single day before work, just to check on me, just to check on the children. That wasn't a part of her job, but that's that openness that she's talking about. And when you meet her, you know immediately that she's a person who is wide open to helping you heal. That's so evident, like in that moment that you meet her. And it's funny to me, not funny, but I guess peculiar, that she's keyed into that. Because that's truly a quality of self that she has. But I guess because she's a counselor, she knows how to, do that kind of thing. Oh, I told her, I love Sherelle, and she's very open to that. And so for me, I'm not very open. I'm actually very closed. And she and I were talking the other day, and she said somebody told her she wouldn't tell me who said it. You know how that goes. That, Dr. Cheney must really like you, because she always says positive things about you. And it's not that I say negative things about people. I just don't say anything about anybody, because I'm just kind of closed up that way. But every time I hear her name, I can't help but brag about who she is to the children in our community, and who she was to my niece and nephews, and who she was to me. So that's a quality. Think about that quality. So when people start asking you about your qualities, stay away from physical. Because you're only pretty because your mom and daddy was pretty, right? So what's beyond that? What's on the inside? That's what counts, and that's what's more important, and that's what you want to kind of focus on. I said, what does my audience need? And that's the question I asked as I began to prepare this presentation. What can I give you? What piece of information that you can walk away with that says, I got this. It's not as difficult as I thought, right? That should be the foundation for your presentation when you prepare to speak. So it doesn't matter if you're speaking to your husband, if you're speaking to your children, your co-workers, whomever it is, it doesn't matter. So I want to take away from the idea that this is about public speaking and focus on the idea that this is about speaking. It's about expressing yourself. My husband is an overtalker. So I started writing him notes. Like, you can respond point by point in this notebook right here to make sure that I'm telling you exactly what I want to tell you, and you can respond accordingly, point by point. Because what he knows about me is if he raises his voice, I'm done. So he'll raise his voice because he don't want to talk about it. So I said, okay, I'm a good one for you. So you hold on to this notebook, and whenever you finish responding, you can give it back to me. And then I'll respond, and we don't have to talk at all, right? Because I'm going to express to you whatever it is I need to express to you. And then I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond accordingly. But we're going to do it in a peaceful, cordial manner. And in the process, you're going to become a better writer. So, you have to do whatever it is you have to do to be able to express yourself. So you think in terms of speaking, Those are your words, whether they're written words or spoken words. They're your words. And people who love you, they don't set out to hurt you. So if you feel hurt and you feel like you can't express yourself verbally, write it down. I'm telling you. That works. Write it down. So, another way when you're speaking is to ask yourself, how can I make my presentation interesting? And I was listening to the lady who spoke before me, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, I like that. And when she talked about how she used to tell people about their husbands, I'm like, that's right, girl, that's right. Because sometimes that's how we address each other. That's how we relate to each other. But how am I going to relate to you, speaker audience? That's what I was thinking about. When Pastor Tyra asked me to do this, I was like, well, I don't know those ladies. They're probably gonna be grown ladies. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to accept your own age, but you feel like they're gonna be more grown than you, which means they know more than you, which means they may not be as open to receiving from you. Because my mom used to say, no matter how grown you get, you're not more grown than me, right? You'll never be as grown as I am. So I thought about that. I'm like, oh, it's in the church. It's gonna be these grown ladies. I have to make sure that I speak properly. I have to make sure that I don't say any type of slang that they don't understand. Trying to always be respectful of my audience and be connected to my audience. But I got some of my people in here too. So,
All right.
Yes, I'm happy about that. So one way to connect to your audience is telling stories. So I told you a little story about Sherelle. I told you a little story about my mama. And that's what you do. You connect, because even though in your darkest moments, you feel alone. You feel like, oh, this is only happening to me. Nobody understands this. You will be surprised at what people understand. And the way for you to connect to them is to tell your story. Get yourself connected to them. Right? There's happy. There's sad. There's just ridiculousness. Like a piece of ridiculousness is, my sister's grandmother died. Right? Today is her funeral. So me and my two older sisters right there, we went to the funeral. And I said, okay, the funeral starts at 10, start viewing the body at 9, I have to be here at 10:30, it's right down the street. I got it all mapped out, right? So when we leave out of the funeral, after we speak to everybody, make everybody know we there, because we're gonna duck out, because you know it's gonna be full, they're not gonna miss us. My car was blocked in. I was like, oh God, like what am I going to do? No, it's like 10:02, 10:05, 10:10. Pastor Tyra said be here at 10:30, you know you can't be late. So I'm like, okay, what to do? That's ridiculousness, right? So I'm like, should I call her? I can't go interrupt the funeral because the funeral is in full swing right now. So luckily we had Uber, so we Ubered on over here, so we get here on time. That's ridiculousness. That's a story. Sad, you don't want to be defined by it, but sad happens and people connect to sadness. My parents died 11 days apart. That's very sad, right? There was a time when I couldn't even say that without bawling over in tears. My little sister died less than a year after that. My nephew died about 4 months later. I used to not be able to stand and say that. So when people see you, they see together. They don't see broken. They're like, oh, I wish I had it together like that. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't, right? Because I don't want to stand before you and be perfectly fixed.
Come on.
And that's another reason why I started moving from behind a podium. Because I want you to see that I'm not perfect. That I am you, and you are me, and we are we. And together, we're stronger. But in order to do that, people have to be able to see you as human. They have to be able to see evidence of your brokenness. They have to know that it wasn't always perfect, that you're a work in progress. You're coming along. I'm still here. I'm still struggling. I'm still working on me. So no matter how your makeup looks, And no matter how your hair looks, and even if your body working the way you want it to work, it's the inside that matters. Okay. So I told you a few stories. Do I have you listening?
Yes.
Have we experienced some changes in pace?
Yes.
We're happy, we're sad, we're shocked. We could even be amused, right? Listen to how my voice changes when the pace changes. Because again, if I say y'all, I'm gonna tell you a sad story, or y'all, I'm gonna tell you a happy story, or whatever, but my voice doesn't change, am I grabbing you? Your voice is one of your key tools to grab your audience. Because if I say, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened to me today, girl, I was walking along, what am I doing? And you're like, what is she talking about? You're listening, right? That's when you're gonna put your phone down. Because you're like, wait a minute, I don't wanna miss that. Or if I'm standing here, tears in my eyes, my voice is shaking because I'm sad and I'm telling you this just sad story of my brokenness, then we start to connect. Because you listen, you hear what I'm saying. It's your voice. Your voice does all of that. And so you have to remember that monotone is not the way to go. You can be entertaining, right? Some people dance, some people sing, like Miss Tara is in Toastmasters with me, and she's just this awesome speaker, but we all know her, and we know that she's an awesome singer, and I'm just waiting for like one day when she's doing her speech to just break out in song, because that's something that adds a quality to her speech that not everybody has. Because if I break out in song, y'all gonna break out the door, right? Because I can't sing. But she can. And so that's learning what qualities you have that separate you from the crowd. What's the way that I can connect that she can't? Or what's the way that I can connect that nobody's done before, right? And we know song brings us together. So that's another way where you can be entertaining. And my goal today was to teach without preaching, because I'm a teacher and I go into teacher mode, and my family laugh at me all the time because I correct grammar, I correct Facebook posts. I'm like, look, go on there and change that. Because you are not going to be in my circle doing that, right? Because people look at me, and because you're with me, they're gonna look at you. And so you have to make sure you're on top of everything, right? And so I do that. I know I go into teacher mode quick, and they'll roll there as like, oh, she's in teaching mode right now. But I will, because if I love you, then I want you to be better. And so I'm not teaching you out of a place of, I think I'm better than you and I know more than you. It's out of a place of love, because if I bring you up and you bring her up and then she brings her up, what happens to all of us? We up. And then people start looking like, what they got going on in my shoe? Don't worry about it. Watch and learn. Right? Because we pulling everybody up. We pulling everybody up. There's an old saying that says, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, we know black people ain't no bootstraps. Right. So we want to put ourselves up by anything. But now what we do have is education, and what we can do is we can pull each other up. Because if I grab her, and she grabs her, and she grabs her, guess what? We pulling each other up. So we have something. We may not have bootstraps, but we got something else. We have each other. And so that is where we want to go with that. And enhance memorability. You want to tell somebody or behave in a way that makes you memorable. So I asked you earlier, if we encounter each other just for a moment, what would I remember about you? I might remember your smile, right? I might remember your openness. What is it about you that's memorable? What is it about you that when She Rolled 2019 comes around, Pastor Tara says, let me call her. I would like for her to address my ladies. What is it about you that's memorable? If you don't know, ask your friends. Examine yourself. Dig a little deeper. We're all grown. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to figure out, to be uncomfortable, to learn, to see this is my quality of self. This is who I am. And it may not be what my mama thought it was, and it may not be what my husband thinks it should be, but it is. It's who I am. And walking in that, walking in your truth and in your quality, when you get here, then people hear your voice. They hear you. You're not going to stand here and read the words of somebody else. They're going to hear you. Have you ever read a book? Think about your favorite novel. No pictures, but do you know how all those people look? Do you know how they all sound? You know why? Because the author of that novel made sure that you were able to hear their voice. Even reading those words on a paper, you know the deep voices from the soft voices based on the actions. You know that. That's voice. And your voice is the strongest part of you. And that's why it hurts me so bad when women, especially, don't talk. Because your voice can change the world. Your voice is so strong. And we want to get in touch with that today. And that's what we're talking about today. Getting in touch with your voice. And the last part of what you need when you're getting ready to speak is to prepare. So how do you do that? One, you have a few stories that you know through the years works. Right? If you're sitting around the Thanksgiving table, you tell a little story, your family laugh, you say, I'm going to save that for when my speech comes. Right? And if you have some important things about you, start marking those. Like my friend Sherelle say, her openness, she could give you a whole speech. I could give you a whole speech on her and openness. Because I used to be one of the close people I knew until me and Sherelle started pulling those onion layers back. Right? And so, know who you are, so when you get here, you're ready. So you have your stories, you have some facts, some statistics. If I say, I had a friend, she committed suicide in September. She shot herself. So I can start by saying, my friend Bernetta committed suicide with a gun. But do you know, statistically, less than 1% of black women who commit suicide use a gun. And so when guns and black women are involved in suicide, the police automatically go on notice. Because they feel like it's a little bit more to this. Because black women don't do that. Right? And so I'm giving you some statistical information. I gave you a way to connect with me and to feel possibly my sadness for Bernetta, but also as black women. And to think, we all try to be so strong, right? We all try to be so together. But what if I share my weakness? What if I share my not so togetherness with you? What happens? What happens with me? My grandmother used to say, happiness shared is doubled. Grief shared is cut in half. Because you're going to carry a little bit of this for me to say, we're going through this together. But we can't do that if you think I have it all together. And you want to make sure that every time you hit the door, you put together from head to toe so nobody don't even question the fact that you might be struggling. Like my friend Bernetta, who never had a hair out of place, who never wasn't looking like she stepped off a magazine every single day that I knew her. And to get a call for such a tragedy, you have to start to question yourself. What did I miss with my friend? Because she was so busy making sure that we all knew that she had it together that she never once said, y'all, I'm falling apart. We don't want to be there because we need to be in a place where we can save each other. And Sherelle and my friend Tanya, right? Tanya's an esthetician. So she'll do your lashes, she'll do your brows, she'll do your makeup, she'll do your waxing. But Tanya's also a social worker. So she'll do some brain work on you while you're laying on a table. You have to put people in your circle, right? And so when I was really, I honestly, my mama used to say I was dry on the inside and out because I had like really dry skin and I was just like whatever with everybody. But once they died and I had all these emotions, I'm like, people really live like this? With all these, like, what you supposed to do with all these emotions? You overreact for everything, it's too much. But Tanya Sherelle helped me to kind of work through that and get back to this and realize I have a voice. And that's what you wanna stay with. Using your story here to grow here. Because if these are young ladies and we've been through probably what they're going through or what they're going to go through, it's important that you have your voice in order so you're ready. Because remember what I said, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? So great speakers, this is a quote that I like. It's not up there, but great speakers think less about what they have to say and more about what they have to ask. And what are those questions? What do I need to know about my audience? I need to know that because this venue is a church, that probably everybody in here is going to be Christian, right? Why is that important? Because this is not the place for me to tell you a story about my shenanigans on Bourbon Street.
Right.
That means I don't know my audience.
Right.
And that's what getting to know your audience is about. Is knowing what we're going to talk about, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. Because there are venues where that would be the perfect story to connect to the people in the room. If I'm doing prison ministry, if I'm visiting with some teenage girls, some freshly 21s, I could tell them. And that's appropriate. And then what wouldn't be appropriate is how prayer changed everything. Because as soon as I start talking about the Bible, as soon as I start talking about God and praying and fasting and meditating, they shut down.
Right.
They shut down. And you don't want your audience to shut down. You want to connect with them. So you have to know who your audience is. What's going to be interesting to you all, right? That's knowing your audience. What's going to be interesting? These are questions that you want to ask yourself as you prepare to speak. As you prepare to reach out to the people who you've been tasked with reaching out to. So ask yourself those questions. So instead of saying, I'm going to say this, and say that, I got this, I got that, what do they need? How can we connect? How can we build connection in this room? That is a part of it, right? The bottom line is this. When you're able to make your audience think, have you thought about a few things? You're not finished thinking, just so you know. If you can make your audience laugh, have you guys laughed a little? Have you come to some new understandings about some things? Because I know growing up, my mama would say, as a black woman in America, you have to work twice as hard just to get on a level playing field, right? And so, if you're there and you're working and you're working and you're working and you're thinking and you're just like, okay, I want to be a great speaker. What do I need to do? I practice. I look in the mirror. I talk to God. I talk to my mom in the mirror because me and my mom are almost like identical people. And sometimes when I pass the mirror, I'm like, Mama, oh, wait, that's me. So it's kind of weird, but I come to some new understandings every time. And those are the things that make you a great speaker. So, Tiara, go to this next slide for me because I'm getting ready to give them an assignment. The next one. Oh, I thought I skipped it. The next one. The next one. Okay. Here we go. Communicating one-on-one. So I talked about what to do here, right? But I also told you that talking and having your voice is really about whomever you talk to. Whatever opportunity you get to speak. And I challenge you not to ever let an opportunity pass you by. So even if we're in the elevator Even if we're on this 1 minute, what are you going to say? What impact are you going to have? So here's your task. I'll give you about 5 minutes on the clock. We're gonna do what Toastmasters calls the elevator pitch. So everybody who works, you're trying to get a promotion, you want a promotion? Everybody wants a promotion, right? So you're in the elevator, and who walks in the elevator but the HR director? And they don't know you from Adam. But you know, you saw the application come up on your email and you're ready to apply for it, and you have a very unique opportunity to engage this person from floor 1 to say floor 5, right? Because HR is on 5 and you're getting off. You got what, 45 seconds, maybe a minute? I want you to think about how you can describe yourself as a solution to a problem, tell a short anecdote, and start a dialogue. How can you do that? So in the classroom, we have to model before we give a task. So I'm going to model for you what that looks like. So we're in an elevator. We have the infamous Mr. George as my superintendent. He's in the elevator with me. So if I say, good morning, Mr. George. I'm Rachel. I teach at East St. John. I do this, I do. You think he's interested in any of that? No. He's like, whatever. Not interested. What do you do to make him interested? You present yourself as a solution to a problem. Mr. George, I know St. John Parish is a C. I've been doing my research. I know how to make it a B. Straight up. Right off the bat. We have a subgroup of children who we are sleeping on. Let's pull those children up. That's our overage kids. We have a program called E2020. Y'all already paying for it. We're not using it. What is he doing now?
He's listening.
Because he want to be a B too, right? He don't want to be a C. So now he's listening. And I said, let me tell you a story about one of my students, right? He was a 16-year-old 8th grader. But now he's getting ready to graduate in the class of 2019. Why? Because we put him on E2020. He stopped cutting up, he stopped doing anything, because instead of interacting with 12-year-olds, he was on a computer. And now he's getting ready to graduate with his original graduation cohort. Now, Mr. George, what you think about that? Is he interested in what I have to talk about? Yes, because I know we have a problem. I have a solution. I'm gonna tell you a story as evidence that my solution works. And then I'll push it back on you. What you think about that? So here's your task. You're in the elevator with the hiring person, or the pastor, or your husband, or whomever it is you want to talk to. Describe yourself as a solution to a problem, tell a little anecdote, and then start a dialogue. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. This is actual. 5 minutes. Miss Howard, do you have some more sticky notes that they can write on? Or do they have something to write with? Five minutes. Yes. Oh, look at these prepared ladies. If you need a sticky note, raise your hand, please. 5 minutes. Last call for sticky notes. So while you guys are doing this, I'll tell you something. You hear that music is playing? So in my class, I play the instrumental version of 5 minutes of funk. You know why? Because it's 5 minutes. Right? That's the only reason why. But we're in church. And so when I went, I was like, oh, I can't play that in church. Even though it's just the instrumental. I don't know about to start bus stopping for Jesus and all the kind of stuff people say these days. So I left that out. That's knowing my audience and knowing my venue. But in class, it's 5 minutes of fun, because it's 5 minutes. So you can think about, you can research songs that last for the amount of time that you want your people to have to work. Instrumentals are best, because words make them sing, and that gets them off track. Your 2-minute warning. Raise your hand if you're still working. Okay, that's time. Tiara, can you back up? One more time, right there. Okay, so before you share, one thing that I didn't talk about when you're preparing a speech or you're preparing to talk is courage. Because it takes a lot of courage to get on this podium or to get a microphone and honestly tell your story, to walk in your own truth. That takes a lot of courage. So looking at the answer that you have on your paper, I want you to focus on the screen. 5 tools to make you more successful as a speaker. And I use pictures and words for this because some people are visual and they need both, and that's okay. Is your mind. What is that mind in that picture doing? Charging. Because as a speaker, your job is to stimulate the minds of the people in your audience. Your purpose for being here is growth for you and growth out here. Always have a purpose. Energy. You see the energy up there? What are we doing? What are we doing? We're connecting. We're exchanging energy. It's very, extremely important when you speak. You want to connect with the people out here. You want to gain something and you want to give something. That's how you know that you've been successful as a speaker. And then your face. See, the face on that picture is what? It's blank. Because if I stand before you with a blank expression, then my words become confusing. You can't read my expression. So when you get on a podium, you take the microphone, it's not poker face time. It's not game face time. It's, this is really me. It's take the mask off time. It's look at me. See what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. Feel what I'm saying. Look at my face and know that I'm being honest with you. You don't want a blank face. And then there's your body. If I stand behind this podium, and I know I said this already, but if I stand behind this podium, you miss me. You do not want your audience to miss you. You want your audience to connect and engage with you. And in order to make that happen, you have to engage with them. You have to connect with them. Think about the best concert you ever been to. Did that person just sit on a stool and sing songs? No, they came from behind the podium. They engage with their audience. And that's what you want to do. And your voice. Your voice is one of your biggest tools in speaking. You can make it happy. You can make it like, baby, I know you lying. Or you could say, welcome. I want you guys to come in. That makes people comfortable. That makes people feel invited. Use your voice. You know, especially parents in here. If you call your child, you say, Tanya, come here. Tanya, come here. She don't feel it. She's like, Tanya, come here. Tanya, know something is wrong, right? That's just voice. You don't need any props. You don't need anything. These key things, that is what makes you a successful speaker. It's all about you. It's all about you. So, look at your answers. Look at those tools. Who would like to present their answer to us? Who, sorry, I ask questions in class, because you don't know about them. Who has the courage to share your answer with us? Let's go.
Come with it.
Oh, let's go. Come on. We're on some things today.
Good morning. Is it on? Okay. Good morning. I'm a second grade school teacher. I'm an interventionist, so I am preparing myself to go to the next level. You are my supervisor.
Claim it.
We walking through the school. Hey, Miss Shady, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm Miss Missy, your first lead interventionist. I know.
Oh, you
that's
work
my
with my babies.
Yes, ma'am. But let me tell you what I've done. My group, they 91% passed their MAP test. What I've also done is created a group of interventionists. I have a group text. We meet on Mondays. I've taken them to the next level to teach their babies how to pass that same test. Their kids have now all passed 90%. With that being said, the reason why you need me as your first lead interventionist is to take interventionists to the next level. Think about that. Don't rush your answer, because I didn't rush what I thought about. So what I'll do, I'll get back with you next week.
If I was hiring, you got the job. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So look how quick that was. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Because you don't want to walk away saying, man, that was such and such. I'm going to tell you a story before we go to the next answer. Our superintendent, Kevin George, I was working for the summer at the school board office, and we had heard we were getting a new superintendent. And this man, we were in a little restaurant next door eating, just chatting, and he walked in. And I told my friend, I said, I bet you that's him right there. She said, that's not him. What are you gonna be doing in here? And I'm like, I bet you that's him. We didn't talk to him because he really looked kind of scruffy. He didn't look together, but it really was him. And I keep thinking back, I knew it was him. I should have talked to that man that day, but I didn't. I wasn't ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Who else has the courage to share? Oh, yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I am now in a different space in my life. I'm not employed right now, so I'm working and having the courage to branch out on my own.
Let's go.
So you are a prospective client of mine. Okay. Greetings. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
So you don't know me, but I have done some research on you. I have learned that your organization is about 45 to 50% grant funding dependent. But I've also learned that the majority of your funders are starting to change their funding priorities. So let me tell you a little bit about what I've done for some organizations. I've looked at their funding structure and done a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, so that you can look at where you can strengthen your organization and what threatens you or what you can work towards, so that you can seek funding opportunities that will wean you off of that grant dependence and build your fundraising capital, your ways of diversifying the ways that you raise money, so that you can be less crazy, if you will, every year that comes around and you're talking about, oh, I don't know if we're gonna get the grant this year, or we have to lay people off. So that's just something for you to think about. Here's my card. Let's have coffee next week to give you an opportunity to have some time to think about it. But I would love to be able to help your organization.
Wow. Now let me tell y'all something that we didn't even touch on, but she did. People are so self-centered. It doesn't matter what I had going on. But a stranger just told me that they've been researching me. Like, what? I'm listening, right? Because I think I'm live, and apparently she do too. So I'm going to give her my attention. You understand that? Did an excellent job. Thank you. Excellent. Use your tools. Use your tools. One more. Who would like to share? Who has the courage to share? Miss Lee making eye contact with me because that's what children do. You know, they want to share, but they don't want their friends to know they want to share. So you have to kind of look at them and make sure. Right? See, that's my friend. Yes. See? You have to read those cues. Have to read those cues, because as long as it's on you, they're going to do it. Hi.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Jeannie.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you. I am so glad that you were honored to get the position as superintendent at St. John Baptist.
Gosh, I haven't heard anything.
I've been looking at your record. You've done a wonderful job at MSC Watkins, and I'm very glad that you have also incorporated the Back to School Power Jam in St. John Parish. We are King Manny's LLC. We are a catering company and pop-up shop. We serve basketball concessions, parties, events, concerts, and whatever. But we are looking to serve as your organization at St. John Baptist, the Back to School Jam Fest eating facility. We would like to be the person that you come to for all of your food needs for your kids. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in?
That sounds awesome.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll give you my number so we can communicate and follow us on with King Manny's LLC.
Thank you. Now let me tell you something else you touched on. What do we all like to do? Eat. This girl talking about food, right? I don't have to run behind anybody. I don't have to make those calls that go unanswered. I don't have to beg those businesses. My girl right there. She knows her area. And again, she was ready with her research. Because if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? So here's the next piece of this. Think about a word. My word is speak. I want you to think about a word.